Just do a hearty laugh for me.
I don't know how to do that.
I need a Brian Blessed laugh from you.
See, I went red then.
Yeah, now do another one.
I did it louder that time just to screw with you.
Hello, geeks and geekettes, and welcome to another edition of the podcast with me, Mr. Cincinnati, and as always, we'll be talking films, TV shows, games, and I am joined by my very special guests, as always, David and Martin. Say hello, David and Martin.
Hello, David and Martin.
If only we had a camera or something to show the fact that you were deciding who was going to go.
This is important to us.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I know last week he did it, but also in one of the episodes that we recorded for the YouTube channel,
Yes.
I did it. So I didn't know if we were going to keep going with that, but then I don't know what...
Yeah, but there
What
was
is canon?
That's the thing.
Some of those we recorded weeks ago.
Yeah,
almost
that's true.
months, I think, maybe, some of the Overcooked
That's-
videos.
Right, we're going to keep this going,
Okay, sure.
just for the podcast,
Okay.
and then we'll just mix it up every now and then.
Sure.
and see-
Yeah.
I'll try and keep it in continuity on the channel.
Okay,
But,
yeah.
but yeah.
We're going to do it differently all the time just to screw with you then.
Fantastic, brilliant. Make my life harder. Brilliant. That's just how I like it. So how are you both doing this week? Are you okay?
Very
Yeah,
well.
pretty good. Yeah.
Other than being incredibly hot.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, you know,
Hot.
It's,
it can weigh you down after a while.
We've just hit record, so in about an hour's time, this room is just going to be full of three very sweaty men.
That's
It's
why
going to
I'm
start
wearing Velcro
smelling
clothes,
quite
so I can
badly.
tear them off.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. You've already gone that far.
Yeah, well, you know.
Just I was
pants
thinking we could maybe put a fan in the corner, but then all we'd hear on the podcast is bzzz, which probably wouldn't be very good.
You can remove that and post it, can't you?
I am maybe. Yeah, I'm not that good at editing, if I'm honest.
Yeah, okay.
I do what the buttons say, and if the buttons can't do it, then I can't do it. I don't know what I'm doing when I edit the podcast. I'm just like click, click, click. Oh, now it sounds good. So yeah,
I'm surprised we've got this far.
I know. Anyway, welcome to the Geekstation podcast. So we'll be talking about Death Note later on, after we've gone through the obligatory news. Did we like Death Note? I mean, we'll talk about it obviously in more detail later on. I'm sure you have some words to say about this, Martin.
It's okay.
Yeah. I started. I watched. I know we'll talk about it later. We'll talk about it because I got.
Let's do news first.
I got some things. So there's lots of news here. A couple of you guys have actually added to this as well this week, which is lovely. So I don't actually know which stuff I've added to and which stuff is yours or Martin's or David's. So there we go. But we'll start off with the episode of Game of Thrones. With was this? I was guessing this was your edition.
It was my edition.
It was your edition.
Yeah.
Yes. So.
Do you want to read it verbatim?
Yeah, I do. So David's first entry here on the news is Game of Thrones. Holy hell, that was a solid episode. Zombie, polar bear, Top Knot died. Oh yeah, poor Top Knot. Frozen Lake standoff, White Walker javelin trampling, takes aim and hits. Jon bends the knee to new queen/sister. A blue eyes white dragon.
Yep.
Very nice.
That happened?
Solid effort.
Yeah, I
Wow.
think they're calling him Viserys the White now. I think so. Yeah. Oh, by the way, spoilers.
I was thinking that.
Sorry. Oh well. If you're listening to this and you haven't watched Game of Thrones, then
Your name's Martin.
well, that's right. Yes. But it was a good episode, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was really good.
It was.
Enjoyed it.
And the thing I like about this series so far is that they're speeding along with the story, which is great. And I mean, we've spoken about it. Like I think off air, like it's almost a bit detrimental to the previous seasons that have come to it because they took their time with the storytelling. But you can't say that it's been a bad series because every episode has topped the last, and you think, oh my gosh, this is incredible, what they're going to do next, and then they pull an episode like Sunday night's episode.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely where they speed through everything. It doesn't take anything away from the episodes because obviously that wasn't why you watched it before. You didn't watch it to have a long bit between them, like characters meeting each other. So I don't think it takes anything away from it. It adds to it a bit, but it just speeds things along. And they need
You need to move your microphone a little bit closer to your face, or move closer to the microphone.
Okay, hold on.
One of the two.
Get the chair.
No, don't worry. Yes, this is incredibly professional.
How's that? Is that a bit better?
I think that sounds better now. Yeah,
Okay.
excellent, good. Because we're professionals here, So we know what we're doing. Can I move that? No, okay. Anyway, so it was a good episode, and the finale, which is tonight/tomorrow,
Yep.
depending on where you are listening to this in the world, and how you choose to watch it as well.
Or yesterday.
Or
we release it
yesterday because
tomorrow,
it's
so
going to be
it'll be
released tomorrow.
yesterday
That's
for
right.
everyone.
Yeah, okay. Well, you just ruined the anyway.
We're not-
79 and a half minutes. So it's a proper film. Hour and 20 minutes long. I think it's going to be...
Wow.
Yeah, it's the longest ever episode of Game of Thrones. So the longest ever one was last week, which was 1 hour and 12 minutes or something. And this one, they've just whacked an extra 8 minutes in of pure carnage.
3 minutes shorter than Ace Ventura: Pet Detective.
Yes, which you watched this week. Yeah.
No, the exact run time of that film.
Yeah, an hour and 22 minutes.
Yeah.
He was paying attention to every second. Yeah. Do we know how long the second one is? Is the second one longer?
I have no idea.
No. I always preferred...
I'll let you know next week, though.
I always preferred the second one. I read an article, it was probably a BuzzFeed or something, it came up on Facebook, I don't know where it was, as to how homophobic the first Ace Ventura is. I mean, it really is bad, isn't it? Like, I remember there's a bit where he realises that the woman, the police officer,
is a dude, yeah.
Is a dude.
And then he just like freaks out, starts like jumps in a shower.
And he's like in the bath, isn't he?
Yeah.
Going like, yeah. It's super, super homophobic. Oh, well. It's a film of the 90s.
It kind of really depends on how you look at it. Because like, if you made out with someone and then you realise after the fact they were a dude, you wouldn't react that way. But it's not like you wouldn't react at all.
Well, no, you're sure. But you wouldn't start, scrubbing your tongue with a toothbrush and, looking low, you covered in acid in a bathtub.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like obviously you wouldn't react in the extent that he did, but obviously it's a comedy as well.
But at the end, it is also, Jim Carrey being Jim Carrey, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. He's an overactor.
That's it. So there was Gamescom this week, and loads of stuff coming out, loads of cool new games and things. So the two ones that I'm excited about anyway is Microsoft announced Age of Empires 4, which is being developed by Relic, who obviously made Company of Heroes 1 and 2. Company of Heroes pretty much acknowledged as the best real-time strategy game. Have either of you two played Company of Heroes?
No.
It is a very, very good game. World War II, like proper. It's very micromanagement, but it's it's got a proper cover system and you can't destroy tanks. If you put like some infantry up against a tank, they're just gone. There's not even any point. But if you get your infantry to put an anti-tank mine down and then get the tank together, then it's really good detail. A really detailed game. Very hard game, but very good. So I'm quite excited about that. Age of Empires 4
should be good. It depends on what they do with it, I think, but.
I'm hoping that they'll bring it back to its roots, so proper real time, build a proper base up.
Yeah, I'm thinking either that or whether they're going to go more into that sort of Company of Heroes stuff and bring in different systems.
Maybe. And then maybe the single player will be different to the multiplayer. But if I'm honest, I don't tend to play the single players on RTS games. I tend to just play them. Me and my brother, Warcraft 2, Warcraft 3. Age of Empires, that's our childhood right there. Like two computers land up, just sitting there like, oh, don't attack us for 2 hours, let's build a big base and a big wall and then,
And then go for it.
Yeah, we used to do that a lot. So I'm quite excited about that. And my other big game that I'm excited about is Jurassic World Evolution. Did you guys seen the launch trailer for this?
Yeah.
And what I'm really excited about that is it's made by the same guys that did Planet Coaster, which is actually coming to the YouTube channel next week. So watch this space.
Nice.
But that's like it's like theme park simulator, like build a theme park, but it's so detailed and you get to do it's really cool things with it. And if they're going to apply that to building your own Jurassic Park, I want it out now.
I think they did a similar idea with Jurassic Park on the PS2.
Jurassic Park Genesis.
Yeah.
And that was it's a bit dated now, that game, but I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah.
And then this other entry, I'm guessing this is you again, or maybe this is Martin. I don't know. This was the full details release for the Super Nintendo Classic.
Yes,
that was Martin.
So tell me what is this Super Nintendo Classic?
Well, they did the NES Classic last year.
So that's like the little box.
Yeah. It's like a tiny version of
all the games on it or something.
Yeah. Basically, plug it into USB controllers, HDMI to a TV. It's like one of those plug and play sort of things.
And this is now for this is for the SNES?
This is the SNES one.
Okay.
Yeah. And they're releasing Star Fox 2, which is previously unreleased.
Okay.
Didn't they announce that ages ago?
They announced it maybe a couple of months ago, but they're coming out with more details this week.
Okay, because I'm going to say the pre-orders went live last week some point.
Well,
sold out instantly.
In America, they fucked up the pre-orders initially, and then they were like, sorry, you haven't got one now. So now they redid them.
But by the way, Martin is wearing a Super Nintendo, or at least a Nintendo shirt anyway.
That's Vans.
It's Vans shirt.
Vans Nintendo.
But it's very cool. Very retro.
Gryffindor headphones.
Thank you.
Um,
Shout
yeah.
out to Vans.
Yeah.
Send me some stuff.
Gonna get a transit
what's
turn
this
up.
rewind feature then?
Basically, this is to sort of encourage picking up and playing older like RPGs and stuff, I think. So you can, when you load up the game, you have a save state, and you could sort of drag it back within 5 minutes to sort of see what was I doing at this point and pick it up there, or if you've really like fucked up like a battle encounter or something,
And
just
that's where
go
it's
back in.
saved, so that you can actually go back rather than the classic
Just literally pick
saving.
up where
Yeah,
it is.
that happened to me notably when I was playing Fallout 3 on the Xbox, and I was in a vault, and there were two like Mirlurks across this other side from the door, and I had like 2 shotgun bullets left or something, no health, and I was like no health packs or anything, and eventually I had to do it by like going in, hitting them, coming back into the door, and then going back in, and this was like when the loading times were really, really long, so I was like 30 seconds in between, like hit you, come back, hit you, come back. Yeah, I hate that.
Yeah, I screwed myself over playing like Splinter Cell years ago. I had no idea where I was or what I was doing, but like I got down to like 2 bullets, and there was like 9 people I had to take out, but you couldn't physically sneak past them to do anything. It was one of the times that you actually had to kill them.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't do it. I tried for like a week and a half straight, every single night coming home from school. Couldn't do it. I was like,
so
I'm done with this game now.
I quite like that, the idea of that rewind function.
yeah.
Maybe I hope that would be nice to see
Gives you a
in
second
other
shot.
games. Like, come out. Okay. Well, there you go. I mean, they're the 3 big things that are getting me excited anyway. Out of Gamescon, and obviously Martin's very excited about the SNES Classic.
Very much so.
Yeah, this made me giggle. David Hasselhoff would like to remake Knight Rider in the same vein as Logan, as in Old Man Logan.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's not a bad idea. It's not a horrible idea.
I like the idea, except the thing about Knight Rider was that obviously it's in the 80s, and the whole thing was
campy to an extent.
well, yeah, but it was also technology,
Yeah.
and now if you see the Knight Rider car, it's like you want touch screens and all of this because we're 30 years on from there, so it'd be quite interesting to see if they do that. I mean, it's all in very, very early talks, and this is like Hasselhoff going, "This is what I'd like to do," and But would you watch a Knight Rider 2017
Every day.
every day, all day?
It depends.
every day?
If they did like a film, I think that'd be the best way to do it.
I think it's probably going to be a TV series if they do anything. Maybe a Netflix-esque type thing.
Don't know. Is
I'd
he going to
watch
be an alcoholic?
I don't know.
Is that true to life? Hoff.
Is Hoff an alcoholic?
You're just-
Or are you just making
yeah.
this
You
up?
can't
Are you
just make
just?
Have you not
this
seen
sort
that
of thing.
video
You
of
have to
him?
say allegedly before you say
That's
anything
right.
like that.
Allegedly.
We don't have that many listeners, but
This
if the
is-
Hoff is listening,
Yeah,
Look,
what
I
if he is one of them?
Martin's
Like,
opinions are not that of the
Me and Hoff are
Geekstation.
tight. I'm just trying to.
Yeah, we can
Just trying to
sack
help
him. We
him
don't
out.
mind.
So
I'll sack you first.
anyway, so next thing. So there are some rumours coming out of the Doctor Who camp. So Doctor Who, actually, I have to say, they're very, very good at. They don't leak stuff at all. Like the BBC is very good at keeping stuff under lock and key, much more than HBO. And apparently, the companion for the next series is going to be. Well, the phrase was an older man. So not an old man necessarily, but instead of having young companions, the new female Doctor's going to have older companion, or older companion, maybe companions, which I think is quite nice. Flipping it kind of on its head. I'm quite excited about the new series.
I mean, they're
now.
messing with the formula, so
Yeah. Well, I
good to
don't
hear.
think, messing. They're changing it up.
they're shifting it and they're
Yeah.
doing something different with it. Absolutely, I think is positive.
But you guys don't watch Doctor Who at the moment, do you? I'm right in
No,
saying
I
that.
don't.
No.
Not anymore.
Would you watch Doctor? Are you going to watch Doctor Who? Maybe.
If I heard good stuff out of this series, then maybe.
Yeah.
But
Well, I mean, I'll be talking about it, so I'll
I
tell
mean,
you.
if you
there's
turned
anything
around
good.
and went, it's going to be an episode of the Geekstation, I wouldn't have a choice, would I?
No.
I couldn't pull a Martin and just not watch it.
Maybe we should do that. Hey, I've got an idea
I
for a new.
shouldn't have done that.
So Stranger Things. You both watch Stranger Things?
Yep.
Yeah.
I have not.
I don't. I can't.
Okay. I think we shouldn't even. We'll ask him. Like, don't listen to the answer and just carry on.
And
with
just
the
carry on.
keep
Okay,
going.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's fine.
Stranger Things. Watch Stranger Things. Anyway, Stranger Things season 2 is obviously coming out October the 31st for Halloween this year, and they've announced that there will definitely be back for another season, maybe a fourth, but after the fourth season, that will be it. Because the guys that are writing it, they're a bit like the Russo brothers and the Wachowski brothers. They're like they're brothers in arms. They've got their own style of doing it. One writes, one directs, and then one of them directs and writes, and all sorts of things. And they've got like these 3-4 chapters planned out for the series. And they don't want it to go on and on and on. They want it to have a definitive endpoint, which I think is really good.
Yeah.
And the thing is with Netflix series, they can do that. Like, we were talking about this. We were talking about the Nerdist podcast where they had Damien Lindelof on talking about Lost, and ABC wanted it for like 22 seasons, which is why like seasons 2, 3, and 4 of Lost are just mad, crazy
so many different
storylines
things,
because they had to start introducing new characters because they thought they were going to just do the show forever. And then at the beginning of the next season, they were like, this is your last. So then they had a choice of like, well, do we tie up all the loose ends or do we just tell a story? And they obviously chose a story, which you can debate whether you like or not was a good or bad idea. But with Netflix, it's like, we're going to stop it. There's no, and there's very little studio input. Netflix just let them do their thing. If it's a hit, it's a hit. If it's not, it's not. And even if it's not, they'll probably bring it back for another series, even if you wanted to. So I quite like that.
I like the way they do stuff. It seems a lot better than the traditional model.
Limited as well, though, aren't they? Because they're kids, so they can. That's one of the other big limits.
Oh yeah, of course. I hadn't even thought about that. That makes perfect sense. Yeah, they're all like 12, 13, aren't they?
Yeah, because like in the first season, I think it takes over the place over like a couple of days.
Yeah, and I think the next series is set 6 months after or something. But the kids are obviously like a year and a half older, and a year and a half when you're 13, 14 is quite
a long time.
I mean, all their voices are going to have broken, and
Yeah, I think everyone's favorite character. I can't remember his name. The shaggy hair with the funny teeth, but like lost his teeth.
The cool character. Yeah.
His voice broke before he had to do like pickups.
Oh, all the ADR stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So
okay. So yeah, I'm quite excited about that. I think that's quite good. This is something that I picked up on yesterday. There are 6 new episodes of Black Mirror coming. They released a teaser trailer with like just literally a 2-second clip, and then the episode titles. But it's the classic mix of sci-fi this and supernatural this. One that I'm quite excited about looks like a parody of Star Trek, complete with a bridge crew and costumes and stuff. So I'm quite excited about that.
They've got such a budget in Netflix, don't they?
Yeah, Netflix just went here. Just have so much money, Charlie Brooker. Just do what you want.
Yeah.
You watched Martin? You watched the last series of Black Mirror?
I didn't watch the last one. No, I watched sort of the first one. There's 3 series, isn't there?
There is. The third series being on Netflix. 6 episodes. Yeah. One of the last episodes like a feature length, it's like a film. Have you seen all of them?
I haven't seen all of the latest season. No.
Honestly.
Yeah, no, we spoke about this before.
We have actually. We have. Yeah, you should definitely watch them. They are really good, particularly the last episode of season 3.
I think the last one I saw, what was it? There was obviously the one with. Was it Bryce Dallas Howard when she's trying to get people to like her?
Yeah, that's the first one. That's kind of the parody on Facebook.
What's the one after that? That's some dude goes to like
the virtual reality one, maybe.
Yeah, I got like halfway through that, and then I had to leave to do something, and I just got back into
you should watch them. They are really good. Hour-long episodes, as I say, except for the last one, which is an hour 20. It's like it's like a film, and it's really good. And there's a moment in the last one where like the music changes, the kind of the twist comes in. And it's really good. It makes you feel. The feels are really good. Anyway, that's what I'm saying. So yeah, I'm quite excited about that. Right, some DC Universe news.
Hooray!
They don't know what the fuck they are doing. So I think they're pretty much. Oh, I'm getting some feedback on my speakers. I'll just turn those off. There we go. Very professional. So they don't really know what they're doing, but basically they've announced a whole load of standalone films now. I think they're giving up.
Yeah, standalone and also like completely independent to the actual like.
Yeah, that's right.
The universe.
So they're just so the director of the Batman, the new director of the Batman, has said that will be set in the MCU, but all these other films that are coming out aren't going to be. So there's going to be a Joker and Harley Quinn movie, written and directed by the same director or same creators.
Same director and same writer.
Oh, okay, sure. And that's going to be so they've got rid of the idea of Gotham City Sirens, which was going to be Catwoman, Harley Quinn, Poison Ivy.
They were going to do that.
Yeah, that was going to be the next after Suicide Squad 2, which I think has also been scrapped. So Joker and Harley Quinn, okay, but who's going to play? Is it going to be?
No, it's still Jared Leto and Margot Robbie.
Right, okay.
They're going to reprise their roles. I'm kind of optimistic for it because I really like Crazy Stupid Love.
Yeah,
Crazy Stupid Love.
Stupid Love.
Yeah, Crazy Stupid Love.
Stupid Love.
I really enjoyed that movie, and I think it could work.
Yeah.
But It all depends on the writing.
Well, that's true. I quite liked Jared Leto's Joker, and I would really like to see. Lots of people want to see this on the internet, like the Joker cut of that film, because apparently there is 40 minutes of footage like they just scrapped. I would just watch that as a film because I think it's I don't know, maybe one day.
Probably gives you better insight into the character.
But I thought he was a good Joker. I mean, he was a crazy Joker. But I think for the DCU, I think he actually does it. I think he fits in quite well because they are doing this really just dark, gritty, but completely ridiculous, over the top world, and I think he fits in really well with that. I didn't have an issue with it, but I had an issue with the film. But,
but his character.
Yeah, I didn't really have an issue with his character. Obviously, years ago when the actual first images of him came out, that. It didn't look great, but at the same time, people also didn't think that Heath Ledger looked.
No, that's it.
Yeah,
no. So I was like,
and the same for Ben Affleck as well, and he actually plays quite a good Batman. So, and of course, the other thing is Martin Scorsese has said that he's going to produce a Joker origin film.
Oh, okay.
So they don't have a director yet, I don't think.
Which is weird, seeing as no one actually knows the origin of the Joker.
Well, no. Well, there's
a couple.
They have. They take. There's so.
They've alluded to things
in the Killing Joke.
Killing Joke, which is the main one.
The big one. Yeah. It's basically he's a down on his luck kind of just an average Joe who's got a wife and a new baby, I think.
Yeah.
He gets fired from his job, so then he gets hired by some goons. Wants to I'll do this one job that will earn me lots of money, and it happens to be at the Acme chemical plant, I think it's
like some acid.
Yeah, that's it. And he falls
like
in a vat of acid, comes out, loses his mind a bit, goes a bit crazy, and then does he end up killing his wife and daughter or something? Or I don't know. I can't remember.
Really, I think either they were dead before that, or
maybe that's
dead after
I
that.
I can't remember. But yeah, so there's that origin story. But then there's also another origin story that he's actually been around for hundreds of years as well, the Joker, and it's comics, so whatever.
Anything could happen.
But this apparently is going to be in the vein of kind of Taxi Driver. Raging Bull, almost. Like I would expect maybe even parts of it to be black and white, maybe.
Well, yeah, Scorsese. I think that'd be good.
Yeah, but he's not directing; he's only producing.
Oh, okay.
But although the way that DCU goes, he'll probably end up coming off the project, going on the project, directing it, not directing it, being cut out of the film. I mean, who knows? Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not going to be for like 2-3 years. So
yeah,
so it could just be cancelled straight up.
Yeah, well, exactly.
It's probably not going to happen, guys.
But what do we think to the DCU and all these films? I mean, is this good for them? Is this a good kind of way to go down, or should they have tried to fix their connected universe first?
I just don't know.
It seems like they've just panicked and gone, all right, let's grab handfuls of whatever we can get hold of, throw it wherever it goes, and see what happens.
Just try and recoup some of the money we've spent planning this thing.
Either that, or all of these stories are like just not real, and they're just like trying to get some kind of hype between the universe.
I wish that would be the case, but I don't think. I just want them just to take their time. This is the thing. Why are they so desperate?
I think they're just like waiting for the Marvel bubble to burst, and if they are off the back of that, then it's just
But I don't
too
think
late.
the Marvel bubble is going to burst anytime soon.
At the moment, it doesn't look like it will.
So actually, a throwback to that same interview with Damien Lindelof on the Nerdist podcast, he was saying that because he loves superhero movies, and he was saying it's not going away. Like they're talking about for the next decade in Hollywood. Like let's talk about these films and where we're going and stuff because. And we love them. They've been around for almost 10 years now.
They're good, but I don't know if I can handle that many superhero films.
See, I love them. But then I'm a sci-fi.
But if they're literally like 10 years worth of them in the same style, I don't know if I could.
I think we need to see more kind of individual films. I love the connected universes. You see, that's what I like. I love because I'm a TV guy. So I like watching a film and going, oh, I know that character from the other 2 films, and he did that, and oh yeah, he hasn't got an arm because that got chopped off in the whatever. I think that's really cool. It would be quite nice to see individual directors coming in and doing their own, like what Edgar Wright was going to do with Ant-Man.
What they wanted to do with him,
he wanted to make a heist movie, and then was just too much interference from the studio because they were trying to do their own thing. That would be quite good.
Yeah, no, I think that could work.
But they're not going away, superhero movies, so this is yours, the lead writer of Half-Life 3. So
yes, obviously when I wrote that down originally, the title of the article or whatever it was I read said he was the lead writer. Apparently, he's actually the ex-lead writer.
Yeah. Okay.
For Valve. Yeah. So the long and short of the letter that he wrote was obviously it was written as like from Gordon Freeman to the player, basically just saying goodbye to the character. This is what's happened since the end of Half-Life 2. Goes into a bit more detail, and then like the final paragraph is just him saying goodbye to the character, and you won't hear from me again.
Yeah.
So almost kind of like just drawing a line.
There is no Half-Life 3.
There is no Half-Life 3.
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
As long as there's closure, I guess. It's
well, and that's the
better
thing.
than
And dear God, that needed to have some closure. Like, I mean, everybody. Like, I mean, I'm a PC gamer, so like, I go onto a website and there's always all rumor this, rumor that, and every time Steam does an update, there's like, oh, let's mine the files to see if there's like a Half-Life 3 mention in there.
It's kind of sad at this point, though, isn't it? That everyone is still clinging to that game.
I think it's because they're just running it as like a living meme.
Yeah,
just
there's also that.
Yeah,
there's got to be a Half-Life joke.
I think that, I mean, they could have let it run longer just because it generates interest. People are talking about Valve. People are talking about their games. Like, what's bad about that?
But that's the thing. But Valve haven't released a game in a very long time.
I think
they concentrate on Steam now.
They've got a new game coming out.
Have they?
A Dota card game.
Oh yeah. No, I did see that. Yeah.
Not great.
Oh my gosh, Jesus.
Well, the way they work as a studio, I heard that basically they're always working on like loads of different things, but they just don't really.
But they never
hesitate
comes
to
to
scrap.
fruition. That's
Yeah,
it,
they're happy to just scrap stuff because they've got so much money.
They just like light a bunch of kindling all over the place and just like
Yeah.
hand off fires to people to like finish and stuff.
And then they're like, "Oh, it's not happening. It's fine. It's not going to be."
Because I mean, that
pushing
was
it
what
forward."
they did with the original Half-Life. Like they developed it, and then I think the studio that wasn't Valve at the time wanted to publish it, and they were like a year and a half later they published it because they like literally scrapped everything and started again.
Yeah, just like use the engine that was built and then just
that's
work
it.
on there,
Yeah, and that's that's the way that Gabe Newell works as well, because he is a bit of a perfectionist, which is fair enough, and that's what he's made his millions on. Well, that and Windows, but that's another story.
Yeah.
Because he was one of the original Windows 7 or something
programmers.
Yeah, so like they sold him and the other guy that he partners with. I can never remember his name. They sold their shares in Windows and went off and made Valve basically.
Good move.
Millionaires, multi-millionaires. So, any other news that you guys would like to share?
That was all the news, I think.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a slow news week this week. Mm-hmm. I think mainly because
there was
Gamescom.
a bunch of Gamescom stuff, but that's
But the ones I'm already mentioned are the ones I'm excited about anyway.
the main ones there. Yeah.
Yeah. So cool. All right. Well, let's move on to our main feature. So we're talking about Death Note. Now, this is not the manga or the anime. This
Or
is
the Japanese live
action films. I would definitely, because now you told me that there's a 2 and a 3. I'm going to have to go back and watch those. I think.
They delve into the story a bit more thoroughly, like the later stuff in the manga and the anime.
So,
Should we let Martin take the lead, tell us the story, and then go on from there?
It's extremely long, but I mean
not obviously the story for.
What's the story?
canon.
What's the story of
Cinematic.
Death Note, the Netflix 2017
the Netflix
film?
2017. Okay, so there's a high schooler named Light Turner, who is
Classic American name.
Oh yeah, for sure. Those names. Whenever I hear the name Light
Turner.
Mike, his surname's got to be Turner.
Yeah,
I love it. I mean, it would be much. It was much better than calling a white kid Light Yagami, but you know.
Yeah, well, that's it. Yeah.
But he's a smart kid. Is he a smart kid in this?
Yeah,
film?
I think that's
it's alluded
certainly
to,
implied,
but
yeah.
it's not as much in. I mean, it's not really as emphasized as it is in the manga and the anime, but that's fine. He's kind of unhappy with the world. No, not really.
Well, he's reeling from the death of his mother still. His mum was murdered by
a Mexican guy.
Yeah.
Was she murdered or did she just die because he hit with a car? Because it doesn't seem.
Oh,
but obviously, I forget because obviously his dad's a police officer.
Yeah.
So it could have been intentional.
Yeah. But basically, he finds the Death Note, which is a book where you write the name.
Him.
Yeah. Falls out of the sky. And the Death Note is a book which you write the name of someone in it, and you can specify the way they die. You essentially have control over them for 2 minutes prior to the death.
2 days.
Or 2 days, I think.
2 days, was it?
Yeah, it's 2 days in the film.
48 hours.
Oh yeah, no, because he did that whole thing with the.
That's right.
You know,
We'll do spoiler free, and then we'll do spoilers just in case you haven't seen it first.
So that's the plot. He's got a girlfriend. He thinks it would be good if criminals die, and he uses it for that end. And then there's a detective that comes in to try and stop him.
Yeah, L. So my favourite fictional character ever, I think, L, who was not really fully realised in this.
I think he was different in this.
Yeah.
I'm disappointed about that.
So it's a whirlwind. It's an hour 40 minutes long, but it doesn't really let up. There's lots of something's happening all the time. There's no
pacing is literally so quick. I think the film gets to the point where you're looking at Light versus L at the half an hour mark.
Yeah.
So they've really rushed to get everything in.
Well, that's it. And L's introduction is I think it's quite rushed as well.
Yeah.
And they don't really. There was no time to stop and explain anything. It started off quite exposition-y, but then it was like that was the climb of the roller coaster, and after that it was all just
I
dropping,
think that was
spinny, and
literally that was the half hour mark. It was like, hey, here's everything, and go.
Go.
I did hear. I was sort of reading a couple of articles. I think I heard that it was meant to be a TV show initially.
Oh, really?
Which points to maybe the fact that it is a bit rushed because they're getting a TV show's worth of content into an hour 40 minute
adapted
film.
to a feature film,
which makes a lot more sense. But I preferred them to do a film like this just because. But I think the story they were trying to tell was not as tight as it should have been.
Yeah. So, what did you think?
I enjoyed it, but from what Martin said about it before I watched it, and some different points that happen in the series, I was really looking forward to seeing those, and none of those things happened in the movie.
Yeah.
There's one part that you said that, Elle was stood on a podium, obviously talking to everyone, and then one police officer says something and says his name and everything, and then he dies.
Yeah, I think they.
There's a whole 2 or 3 episodes in the anime where Elle is identifying who he is, who Kira is, through a series of traps, effectively. Including saying, "This is my name, this is my face." Yeah. And then it's obviously not his face and it's not his name, and that I was actually disappointed that didn't happen, because suddenly we're teetering into spoiler territory. So I'm a bit,
to me personally, I was really looking forward to watching Elle's character and how he to explain how he gets to all these answers and how he figures everything out. But it seems like he took a bunch of wild stabs in the dark, and they all seem to land. It didn't explain how he managed to get to that decision.
That's it. There wasn't time for it though. That's the thing in the show. They didn't take a break. They didn't take a breather to say this is what's happening. It was just full up and there was more on the. I quite liked. I mean, ultimately, the love story between Light and
Mia.
Mia, that's it. Yeah, was obviously quite integral to the story, and I quite liked that. But they spent quite a long time building that when they could have.
I feel like they that's one of the things that I didn't like so much in this film, was that whole romance, because it felt a bit bordering on the teen romance,
the young adult
homecoming dance sort of thing.
It was very teen angsty at the beginning, wasn't it?
But I think that by the end that it was all fleshed out, you realise that both of the characters are probably just a little bit messed up there, and I was like, that's fine. She's crazy.
Well, I mean, ultimately they've got a death note that can kill anyone.
Kill people, and they become
sort
of corrupted by this.
Yeah.
That I think they definitely subtracted from Light's character to have her being the bad guy and doing bad things.
Yeah, that's it. So okay, well, I mean, I really want to get into this. I want to do a deep delve into spoilers, because so what? Just before we do, would we recommend it? Would we say, hey, go and watch it? It's a good film. Take some time out of your day.
Yeah,
watch.
For someone who doesn't know anything about it, it would be a good point to sort of get involved with the idea of the show and the premise and something like that. But for someone who really enjoys the anime and the manga, is really deeply into it, still watch it just because it's interesting. But
and it's another adaptation of it.
Yeah.
I think it would be. I think it would encourage people to watch the anime. I think, because they know that then there's 30, 40, because it's the anime's quite long, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's a good 30 episodes or something, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I think that people, if you do watch it, you should definitely watch the anime afterwards, because I've already got it on my watch list on Netflix, and I'm gonna rewatch the anime because I really want to go back.
Is it on Netflix?
It is, yeah. It's been on Netflix for ages, actually.
I think I've turned off all settings on Netflix to show me cartoons.
Oh, okay.
No anime allowed.
It is. I know you're not an anime fan and an animation fan, but it is. It's the first anime that I ever watched, and to this date, it's probably still the best one that I've watched. And I haven't watched many. I'm not going to lie, but it is really, really good, and the story's really good. And funnily enough, they just before we go into spoilers, they're on Amazon now for, I don't know if it's available in the UK, but certainly in the States, $35. You can buy the entire manga in one big volume, including an epilogue never before released in English.
Oh,
so yeah, there you go. I was genuinely thinking about picking that up, but who knows? Anyway, so let's go spoilers. So spoiler warning. That's my spoiler warning. There we go. Lovely. Sorry about your ears. Sorry about your ears. Yeah, is that within? So where do we want to begin then? I mean, because I loved William Dafoe. We should really speak about that spoilers, but I thought it was really good. I thought Ryuk. I was going to say Ryuk, but he was really good. Really well realised character. I just wish they'd seen him in the light a little bit more.
That's one of the things I like, because he obviously looks really distorted and horrible to look at, and the fact that you don't really get massive glimpses of him like in detail towards the end of the film is where you really see him. It shrouds him in mystery. And
there's some really cool shots where he's like smiling and cackling, and then there's a bolt of lightning, and his face just flashes, and really good. And did you see at the end, the end credits? So before they start the scroll, they do. Like there's loads of behind the scenes stuff, a shot,
like
and
bloopers and stuff.
And he's like proper motion capture, because he looked like William Dafoe as well, which I thought was really cool. And he's like on set, like, laughing and cackling. I thought, really good. I thought he's probably, I wouldn't say necessarily the best character, but definitely the most realised.
One of the better realised characters in the entire thing.
Yeah.
I think they've really brought him to justice in that. I think they looked at more than anything the previous live action film. They had him quite well lit and in sight. And it wasn't the best CG, so I think they were probably looking at that and going, this can really break this character if you just realise he just looks terrible. But he was menacing. It was really great.
I really like that bit where he turns up in the school. And that for the first bit when Light's in detention.
Well, it's like a tornado happens or something?
Yeah, I mean, there's loads of stuff. Sure. But I just thought that whole scene was really good. And when you're introduced to him and he's laughing and he's, just like, this is the Death Note, this is what it can do. Why don't you just try it out? Go on, and write how he's going to die. It was just, I thought that was one of the closest moments, actually, from the original anime, kind of like that introduction of what the note does. And then it started to diverge quite a bit.
I think it was really good because in the manga anime, the first death is the one where he would go, okay, this is a Death Note, let's see if it works, turns on the news and then finds the guy in the hostage situation. That's the first one. Yeah. But I think it really worked in this film for it to be something closer to Light's character. Hey, I hate this bully guy, and then decapitation.
And I was going to say, cool. Not really decapitation, more kind of exploding heads. Yeah. Like, because I saw the truck, and I was like, oh, it's going to be like something from The Omen. There's going to be a pane of glass, and it's not. It's a bloody ladder. Then melon exploding. I mean,
that isn't good decapitation.
No, that's.
But I mean, you do see the top of his head bounce about. That's kind of part of it.
It's kind of like the same sort of decapitation for Sean William Scott in Final Destination.
Yeah, I was thinking actually
through the mouth.
That's right.
On the neck.
Yeah, and just exploding blood everywhere, and people being sprayed with blood, and yeah. So William Dafoe was good. I quite liked him.
Great performance from him. I think Light was. He was okay. He did the job, but
there were moments where he was really good, and then other moments where you're just like, it was really wooden and bad. And I don't know if that was
his first time where he's actually been like one of the main characters.
Yeah,
because he was what is it? Nat Wolf, I think his name is.
That's right.
Yeah, he was in. The only thing that I recognise him from was the Fault in Our Stars movie.
Yeah,
he played Isaac in that. And,
that's right. Yeah,
but I think this is his first role that he's like had to take at the helm and just like.
I mean, I think he did good. I just don't think necessarily he had the material to chew over.
It doesn't seem like they fleshed him out.
No.
Enough.
No.
I mean, look, my gripe with his whole character, I think his performance could have been better because he was really good in the serious moments. Some of the less serious parts and the romantic bits I felt weren't that great. But I feel like overall they just subtracted from his character by having the girl be the one who does the dirty work and all this stuff. Like in the manga and anime, you're like, this guy is the top of the class, he's a genius pupil, the stuff, and it like really adds, and he's like, there's a proper back and forth with him and Elle. but in this, it feels like he's just like kind of a pissed off teenager.
He's almost like
It's almost like he's
along
in
for the
over his
ride.
head at so much.
Yeah,
that's right,
and
yeah.
he doesn't because I think the one of the main parts of the anime as well is like where Light changes as a character. He becomes corrupted. He gets to the point where he realizes like, holy shit, I'm not the same person. I'm literally like killing people, not even for the reason I started killing people, and that whole thing happens. Where in this, he's just like, oh yeah, no, I'm still a good guy, and you know, this girl, she's like, you're a pussy, and he's like, yeah, I guess I'm a pussy then. And all this stuff, and it's like, oh, that character was so good, through that whole progression. So I was kind of sad to see that all happen.
I suppose I was a bit disappointed that they reduced the rise of Kira into a less than 30-second montage. I mean, it was really quick. Suddenly they had it, and they were like, "We're going to kill criminals."
He's known all over the world.
That's it.
I was watching the movie. I think I bleeped on my phone, so I looked at my phone, read something, looked back, and then the whole thing with like Kira had happened.
Yeah.
And then Elle was on the screen. I'm like, whoa, what did I just miss? Did I pass out? Like,
that's it. Yeah. And that was a bit disappointing. And I mean, and talking about Elle as well, like there was that moment where he's picking through the club, you know, and he's like, oh, I've set this trap, and now I know exactly who it is, and it's like. And now we're on a plane to America. Yeah. And it's like, but
I really wanted to see a lot more deduction from him.
Yeah.
Just, like, explaining how he got to things.
Yeah, and I think you'll get a lot more out of it if you've watched the anime. Because obviously we know how he reached those conclusions, but they're just not explained at all.
I think the film did it well. The one sort of deduction he makes is by putting his dad up on the podium.
Yes.
And that's like, I think that was a
good from
moment.
the anime?
I don't think it is. No,
there's I'm sure there's a moment.
They take a lot longer to.
No. I'm sure they do, but I'm sure. Hopefully, I'll get there when I'm going to rewatch the anime this week. But I think that there is a moment where he puts a family member or something, and that confirms that it is Light. I'm sure there is.
I think it's something similar, but I'm not sure he puts him on a podium.
Yeah, but there's definitely he
identifies as him because he goes, well,
he would have.
Light is, you know, well, yeah.
Yeah, that moment is, it rings something in the back of my mind from when I watched it that is kind of similar to it.
I mean, in general as well, I think Elle's character, like he was kind of dumbed down in this. Like in the anime, you know, he's like not borderline. He's basically like autistic, kind of like completely like objective. Like he is unemotional. He thinks about the case, and that's that. And in this, he's like getting all emotional. He's like, oh,
and he's
going out, and they have the chase. Like, I did not like the chase. I thought it didn't have a place in that film. They're just like throwing people everywhere. Why are you?
I didn't like the chase. I didn't like the chase, but I did like the bit where they were in the alleyway, and the chef comes out, and he's like, this is Kira, and I'm law enforcement. He's like, boom, yeah. I thought that was cool.
Yeah. That was good.
Again, didn't feel it was good, but it didn't feel like it was earned because we hadn't seen. I mean, we saw people holding vigils for Kira and all of this, that, and the other, and it's like, and also would 400 deaths around the world, attributed to Kira, to one person, be enough for people to believe that there was a god out there killing bad guys? I'm not sure. 4,000 deaths maybe, but 400? I don't know. I just seemed a bit kind of.
I don't know. Probably in this day and age, it would.
Yeah, I suppose with with Facebook and
anything
news
happens.
That's true.
Around
that
the world,
true.
you can find out about it in a second.
Yeah. So I quite liked, as I say, I quite liked the love story. I thought it was quite. I mean, for this story that they were telling, I really liked. I actually really liked the ending. I thought it was done really well. I'm
really
sure
elaborate way out that he wrote.
Yeah. But I thought that was. I thought that was really good. That was a nice twist. And I was like sitting there going, that's how he did it. That's why, because I was like, why did the bit of paper fall into the thing?
I was wondering, is he actually able to, because that implies he's able to affect something that isn't a living human. But I mean, it's fine. I'm on board. Like, it's kind of minor, but I was like, yeah, fair enough. But I did like that whole end bit where it's broken down,
and that is also a bit, I think, from the anime, doesn't he stops killing for a few months, doesn't he? And he gives it, but he instructs somebody else to do it all for him, and then that kind of throws Elle off a little bit. That's definitely from
that's definitely
although in this obviously it was only a 2-day coma or something. And I quite liked it. So let's talk about the ending.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Elle is there, crazy. He's figured out what it is, and he's picturing the face, and he's about to write it, and then his dad's like, talking to Light, and they're like, is he going to arrest him? Is he going to help him? What's going on there? And then obviously Defoe has the laugh.
He's like, humans are interesting.
Yeah. So what? And then it just ends. So is that for a sequel?
That's
is that just an ending? Is that does Elle kill him? What do we think? I mean,
is that taken straight out of the anime? Or?
No,
that's completely fabricated.
Yeah,
I was going to say, did he die on?
Well, no, because the thing is, in the anime, this point in the story, although the whole bit with the Ferris wheel and stuff doesn't really happen, but at this point in the story, it goes on for another 20 episodes.
Yeah.
And the book goes around the world and all sorts of things. And then it comes back to... Well, I think Elle actually dies as well, doesn't
Elle
Elle dies eventually.
And they have like 2 replacements.
Yeah, and there's a whole thing about in the Death Note you can that they didn't even go into, which is probably a good thing, because it gets quite detailed with the rules and stuff. There's a whole thing where you can give half your life, your remaining life, to see how long people have got to live as well. They're called the Death God Eyes or something like that.
Yeah, Death God Eyes, yeah.
That's it. And that's completely, that part of the story wasn't... Ryuk's character guides Light a lot more than he does. Like in this, Ryuk's character was almost kind of just secondary. He was just passive, in the background. Yeah. Whereas actually in the anime, I seem to remember him being a lot more encouraging.
Yeah. It really builds him up in the anime to be an ally of Light as well. Whereas in this, he's always kind of distinctly not. He's just an observer. And
also it took this weird, strange kind of tangent where at first he was like, "Oh, you're going to kill all these people? Yeah, do it," and then suddenly it was like, "Give me the book back, give me the book, go on, I want rid of you, and I didn't really understand where that was coming from.
I think that was mainly because Light didn't want to kill people as much, so he was he's like, because he's there for people to die, and if Light's like, I don't really want people to die, but the girl does, he was like, I don't even have to look for someone new. Just give it to her.
Sure,
you don't want to do it anymore. Just give it to her. Go on.
It just seemed a bit kind of, I don't know.
But like we've been saying, the whole thing for this seemed rushed.
Yeah.
They just kept jumping from one thing to another. And didn't give time to settle to regroup what's happened.
But it's a hard thing to do, isn't it? So the Japanese live action films are obviously they split into 3. So I thought they were just into 1.
Well, the main story is told over 2 films.
Okay.
So there's a lot more time for it. I think they kind of get... It's almost like the first film is like a much better standalone sort of take of the events of the manga. But this one, I feel like it tried to bring other things in and then make its own things fleshed out a bit more, which kind of led to it all being quite crowded. They could have just dropped the female character, in my opinion, and it would have been more time. But
then she turned out to be integral to the
that whole thing, and it's I just don't know.
And it had some good performances as well. Even though Elle's character was not fully realised, really, even though they did delve into the backstory, which I understand actually isn't in the manga or the anime at all. Again, he was very well acted. I mean, really,
I liked that performance.
He's a really good actor, though.
Yeah, he was in Atlanta.
He's also in Get Out as well.
Yeah,
yeah, he's a really good actor. Why was he eating sweets all the time, and why does he not sleep?
Because it's meant to be like this whole thing that he's so obsessive and, as I say, on the scale that he just needs to solve crimes, and he just eats sweets all the time to keep his mind active.
Yeah,
it was kind of always
just to always be on a sugar high type.
And he would always have a lollipop in the anime or something. And those big kid swirly lollipops or something, because it was quite amusing to, I suppose, have the contrast.
And his minder, the dude
Watari.
Yeah, is he in the anime?
No, he doesn't have I think he has a butler, but he's not as involved as Watari is.
So it was almost as though the L from the anime is he's a lot less kid-like, and I think a lot more professional. He's more, I am the greatest detective in the world, I'm going to solve this. Whereas in this, it was more, this is a kid, but he's really good at what he does. That type of thing. And so he needs a minder because which I kind of, I mean, I understood. I mean, I get that, because there's a lot of things that they changed kind of in the context, because obviously they moved the story to the States, and I think that kind of story that they're telling, the American police aren't going to accept a teenager as, to lead them.
Yeah.
But if it's like, oh no, this guy's good, but don't worry, I'm keeping an eye on him, then it's slightly more, it works for the story anyway,
Yeah,
I think.
yeah.
I think.
No, I get that.
Yeah, definitely so.
I was hoping that he was going to find Elle's name and kill Elle and go down that route, but they just went down a really odd tangent. It was too fast. I think they just knowing or thinking that it was supposed to be a TV show, I think kind of explains a lot about it.
Yeah,
they've obviously.
Personally, I think that maybe not a TV show, but if they split that into 2 movies, if they had fleshed everything out, it was like,
and then give more time to
parts.
different bits of it. Then
I think that would have worked really well. Like, because it got to the part, halfway through when Light is just, maybe becoming like the most powerful that he is, and in what he does, and like Elle's finally starting to understand who it could be, and then that's kind of like where the first movie ends and the second movie end is like where the chase really starts to happen. I think that could have worked quite well.
That would have worked a lot better, I think.
Yeah,
what do I know? I'm not a producer.
Yeah. So, I mean, do you think there'll be a sequel? Do you think they'll make a second one?
I feel like they've really set it up for one, but like I'm just kind of disappointed for that reason, that if they spaced the events of this one out a bit better, then it would have been.
They could have done.
But were they just so hellbent on that cliffhanger? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be quite happy. I mean, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was. I quite liked it. I quite liked the story that they told. I mean, there's you can pick out bits of the story that you wish they'd expanded on a bit more, or whatever. But I thought as an hour and 40-minute
film,
it was really good. Obviously as a fan of the original and everything, it's a bit disappointing. And being a geek, I would have liked them to have some more exposition and stuff. But I really enjoyed it, and I'll be it's definitely something I'll rewatch. I think.
No, I'll definitely rewatch it because I really enjoyed it. I just kind of wish they had some of the bits in it that you were telling me about, because I was really looking forward to seeing some.
I have to say, actually, I mean, that there were some real big story beats which they just missed out on, which I think would have enhanced the film a lot.
They could have
better.
easily put in the part that you were telling me about where he was like, "Oh, we know he's a kid in school because of they happen at these times of the day." He just like, and I wonder if maybe that was in the original script and it got cut out because Elle just goes, I know who it is.
I've got it. Well, it's like over the course of like 3 scenes, he's like kind of he's saying about having his own sort of mental investigation, getting to different points with understanding the database and these bits, but it's not fleshed out enough.
I just wonder if there has been scenes that have been cut out.
Give
where
me an
he
extended
is explaining
cut.
that.
Give me an extended cut, and then maybe like a 2-hour extended cut.
Yeah, I mean, and I bet you they're there, but unfortunately, because it's Netflix, we'll probably never get that because it will never get a Blu-ray or DVD release.
Yeah.
Do they do DVD releases or all Blu-ray now? Isn't it? I don't know. I haven't bought a Blu-ray /DVD in years.
I don't know. I've already got 300 of them. So.
Oh wow!
Got to keep going.
Do you guys want to buy any Blu-rays or DVDs?
No, I have no facility to play them. I don't even have a DVD player. So there we go.
All right.
Yeah, there's not one in the PC. So
it's fine. I'll sell it online somewhere.
Yeah, there you go. I'm sure someone will buy them for me. So it was good. Could have been better, but I'd definitely watch again. Oh, one thing I wanted to say actually, I wanted to talk about was the soundtrack. So the songs were very teenage angsty, some of them, but I thought that every single song worked really, really well with the scene that it was in.
Better than Defenders.
Better than the Defenders.
Definitely. Nothing seemed jarring. Nothing seemed out of place with the soundtrack.
There was one scene where I think it's when she's falling out the
wheel. That's
I felt like that one was like, really, like, is this?
Yeah, but I still
that probably would have worked better if it was an instrumental. So there was no vocals.
No, that's true. Yeah. But I still felt like it was still like, I don't know, the soundtrack always elevates anything you're watching, and I felt like the songs that they chose and when they chose to put them in, when it went slow mo and stuff like that, I thought was really cool. I personally anyway, but that's because I like cheesy music anyway. Fair enough.
I like the soundtrack. The songs standalone I thought were okay, and the placement. Well, I just don't feel like they worked with the film personally. They weren't massively out of place apart from that scene at the end, but for me it just felt a bit like too much on the teenage
Too much on the nose a
drama.
little bit,
It did
yeah.
come across very young adult novel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
But I think that's the audience they were
getting
targeting.
some sort of like
I mean,
Twilight vibes or something like that,
Yeah.
and I was just like,
Yeah. So, and I had two very favourite moments. The first bit was with Ryuk when they're on the pier, and you just see him like scraping through the sky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you actually see him being a death god influencing the world. It's like, I'm going to bring this down, I'm going to do this, which I just thought that was really cool.
I think that was really necessary because otherwise you could look at his character and say like,
What's
well,
he doing?
massively.
because
is
you
he
hear
like-
him cackling, don't you, when deaths happen, but you never see him
and
causing
he's like
the deaths.
around, but
Or
that's
influencing the deaths, I
that.
should say.
To be fair, the end of the film, that's why I feel like it was suggesting Light was going to die via Elle's hand, just
Yeah.
because Ryuk was around
And then, of course, and then he laughed and said,
laughing. And,
humans are so interesting.
yeah,
and then
exactly.
That's
and it's
it.
like, oh,
Yeah, and he's probably going to die from a heart attack as well, because he obviously didn't
Yeah.
write the way he was going to die.
Exactly.
But my other favourite bit, I really liked the father-son relationship. I thought that was really
solid,
good.
actually.
Very
yeah.
good.
And there was a moment after he's given the press conference, and he comes home, and Light just hugs him and goes, "I'm really proud of you." And I just thought it was the best scene in the entire film.
Yeah, that was probably the best dynamic in the movie. Was
Yeah.
those two.
yeah.
And I was just really the feels again.
The
It was
feels were
just
there.
really. It was just, even though he's the killer, it's just like, I'm really proud of you, and that was just so good. And like he was just like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, thanks, son.
Sure.
Yeah, because you could tell at the beginning of it there was like a lot of troubles between them anyway,
Yeah.
and it
Yeah.
seems like it really.
Yeah.
And his dad didn't really seem annoyed that he was killing people around the world either.
Well,
Like,
this
in
is
the
it.
movie.
That's what I quite
Yeah.
liked at the end. It was like you could obviously tell that he was conflicted.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
yeah.
But he knew he was doing it for the right reasons, if that makes
Well,
sense.
that's it. Yeah, exactly. And then because he says, doesn't he? It started off, and then it all just went off on a tangent, and like Mia got involved, and it's like I think the relationship between them. You knew that the dad understood that. It wasn't a case of normally when you see these and the parents just don't understand.
Yeah, especially when it's like a police officer parent. They're like
That's it,
really
exactly.
against
Yeah.
it. They're like, there shouldn't be any vigilantes around. This.
Yeah.
The police were designed to do this job, and this guy's just going around doing it
Yeah.
for us. I don't like it. That's the usual dynamic.
Yes.
They kind of
but-
set up his character to be like that at the beginning as well, when he's like, "Oh, you're so inflexible." Blah 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 blah.
But then,
But
when
then
when it
the
comes to
guy
it-
that kills that killed their mother, his
Yeah.
wife,
He's like,
dies.
"Karma."
He's laughing. Yeah, that's it. He's laughing about it. So
yeah.
you're right. They do set it up. That was the best dynamic. Definitely the best
I really,
kind of interactions.
it was interesting. Kind of one of the points that Elle makes in the film. He's like, "Have you not put one on one together with this one? Your son is Kira." And he's clearly just like completely in denial,
Yeah,
especially
that's
the scene
right,
when Elle comes in with a warrant, like
That was
took him
that was
Watari
a
and he
good
grabs
scene
him
as
yeah.
well.
chucks him on the table, and he's like super in his face. And I was like, "Wow, this is."
That was a good scene, and the scene in the diner as well. Like those two, they were really chewing the words, and really like it was like there was some really good moments in it. It was just
Yeah.
let down by the overall scope of it, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. If they had more time to flesh everything out,
Yeah.
you could have seen a lot more of these kind of interactions.
That's
I
it.
think it definitely an interaction between Elle, the dad, and Light.
Yeah.
Other than that one interaction at the dinner table, if that was drawn out for 10, 15 minutes or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind
I mean,
of
just
Elle,
as-
if Elle was saying this is how we know it's you, and his dad's like, no, it can't be, or whatever.
Yeah.
If something like that happened, and that would have been really good.
And I quite like, yeah. I think we were all reaching the same conclusions that it was.
Yeah.
We enjoyed it.
Had good parts, some really good promise, but it didn't.
It just never really. A bit like
quite get
Defenders,
up there.
a bit like a lot of Netflix stuff.
Yeah.
Never really reaches its full potential. Never really could be what it really could be. But then,
Yeah.
as you say, we're not producers.
Yeah.
we're not writers. We're not directors.
I mean, I
what do we
sell
know?
scripts and I've got a gold suit. But
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah,
that
you
another
must be
thing now?
really hot in that suit today as well.
really warm.
Yeah.
Yeah, plus
Wow.
it's really bright in here.
It is,
as well.
yeah.
So it is reflecting
I'm feeling
a little
like
bit in the eyes.
quite a lot of radiation coming from you right now.
There we go.
No, that's the plutonium socks.
Oh,
Oh wow.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Anyway,
mention that first.
so that was Death Note.
Yeah.
So there we go. And I would definitely recommend, as I think Martin would as well.
Yeah,
So-
I'd say watch it.
and
watch
but
it.
also go and watch the anime as well, which is also available on
I'll leave
Netflix.
that
'Cause
for you to do.
I know you don't. It is good though.
No, I no doubt. And from what he explained from it, when I say he, I mean Martin.
Yep.
From what he explained from it, it sounds like it could have been really good.
Yeah.
It's just, It's just me. I don't,
And you're not
I
going to
can't
watch
get
it, are you? No,
No, I'm not.
I'm going to try and encourage you to, but you're not going to. But for those listeners, definitely go and watch it because it is.
Oh, that
really
was
good.
really really quick one.
Yeah, no, go please.
That do you remember in the anime there was a point where he's under surveillance by the police because they think it's him, and he essentially manages to kill someone. It wasn't the whole coma thing as well. He manages to kill someone whilst they're watching him. And I felt like they were setting up for that because he's under surveillance. They've got these cameras on him, and I was like, "Oh, they're going to do the scene." Because he it's funny in the anime. Like he picks up a potato chip, and eats it really dramatically. And I was like, if they do that bit, then that would be
while he's writing.
Because he's like reaching into the potato chip bag and like writes on there or something as well.
Yeah.
And like he managed to kill someone else, and then really good moment. Would have worked quite well.
I like the bit with the FBI agents. That was brutal.
That was very The Happening.
The camera movement goes after them, sort of looking at the ground. Is very
and then just again splat on the ground. Very brutal.
It was
like 2
really
or 3
gory.
frames. It was just like.
But I just quite liked it when the director has the heart attack, falls down the stairs. Elle gets the call, and then instantly jumps into action. Like get your team, go. You know you're in danger. Get to hospital, whatever. It's too late. It was. It was. I really enjoyed it. As I said in the message to you guys to the Facebook Messenger group that we have, I was straight away like, I've just watched it, pretty fucking good. Like I really enjoyed it. So
would recommend 4 out of 5 Death Notes, I guess, or
4 out of 5. Well, there's
7
maybe 7 Death Notes. I think there are
7.
So I'd give it a
5 out of 7.
I'd give it a 5 out of 7 as well. I think 5
out of 7 is fair.
There we go. 5 out of 7 Death Notes for Death Note, the Netflix 2017 film.
Nat Wolff.
Probably Nat Wolff. Yeah. Okay.
He's a weird man.
So there we go. So what are we going to talk about next week? Before we go on to
now that we've got the new Terminator 2D or Terminator 2D
3D
re-release
Terminator in 1D.
So the re-release?
Yeah, the re-release
of Terminator 2 Judgment Day in 3D. Yeah. Oh, good old James Cameron.
Yeah, as we found out earlier, they actually released it in 3D in like
96.
April 94, 96.
Yeah, so it came out in 91, released in 96. That must have been when James Cameron was like experimenting with 3D. It must
he was like, guys, 3D is a thing, I swear.
Yeah, 3D.
Like, that's it. It's going to be really big, honestly. Yeah. Just bless him. Yeah. And now he's
everyone's going to be
again.
blue as well.
So I might actually try and see it. It's on our local cinema, so I might perhaps go and see it next week. Maybe, I don't know.
I would go and watch it at the cinema if it wasn't in 3D.
Can you not deal with 3D?
No, it just takes me out of the movie.
I'm always on the fence with 3D films because I got my glasses. So the 3D glasses never really fit properly anyway. And also, I don't know if you've noticed this, but it always seems darker. I'm sure I'm sure they must bump up the brightness.
The brightness could be darker.
But I'm always like, I always kind of do this with the glasses, flipping them. Oh, can I see it? No, can I see it? And then it just always seems a lot darker than when you're actually at the cinema. But obviously, that's all part of the experience, obviously. But yeah, 3D is just not.
It's not great.
I don't think it's not great.
I feel that whenever I've watched a film in 3D, it's like for the first 10 minutes, I'm like, whoa, this is different. This is 3D, and then the rest of the film, I literally will not notice that it's in 3D.
Well, I saw The Hobbit, the first Hobbit film in 3D, and it was actually quite good because you could really tell that they'd really worked on the 3D effects. But I mean, the film was terrible, so whatever.
Yeah.
But
I fell asleep the first time I watched that.
Yeah,
yeah. I watched it like a week before it was released because my ex-flatmate, his girlfriend, used to work at the cinema, so they have to play the movie a couple of times. All the way through to make sure it all works, to make sure that all the sound works and everything like that. And usually when they do that, they let people that work there invite people in to see the movies.
Oh, okay.
So it's free. Yeah. You have to hand over your phone and your wallet and everything, so you can't give anything away. So I watched it at like 1 a.m.
Right.
And I just finished like a 33-hour shift at work or something ridiculous like that.
Did you fall asleep?
Yeah, fell asleep. And I literally like 20 minutes in, woke up at like, I can't even know what point it was, and then fell back asleep, woke up when the credits were rolling. I was like, oh, it's 3 a.m. and I'm in a cinema.
I am deathly afraid of spiders. Like, I mean, it's almost to the point where, I mean, it goes beyond a phobia when it comes to spiders.
So is Martin, we just found that as well.
I don't like them in my mouth.
No.
Constitutes a phobia, according to David.
So I shouldn't have pointed out that spider.
No, I'm acutely aware of it, and I'm trying not to look at it.
What about the one on your shoulder?
No, shush. But
He just had to stroke his shoulders and check that.
I had to. But no, so there's a whole 10, 15-minute part of The Hobbit that I've just never seen because I was like this in the cinema. That was my
He
hands.
covered his eyes.
I covered my hands.
What
Yeah,
about-
so again, that doesn't really
What
work.
about Return of the King then?
Return of the King?
The Shelob.
Oh, yeah, no.
No.
What about Harry Potter?
Yeah, that's a horrible scene with the spot. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I tend to look at it kind of like with a little
Like
gap, and like it's, and then I keep on
behind
sitting,
a
and
pillow
look
or
away, and then
something.
look away. Yeah, it really sucks because there's like the Elder Scrolls games, and every time there's you fight a big
Oh,
spider,
yeah.
I have to literally cover my hands and just mash the thing into
Frostbite spiders.
Yeah,
Literally
and
the
it's
first
going to be
10
even
minutes of that
worse with the next game because it's going to be even more HD. And
You should never have told me you were scared of spiders. I'm
You
not
should
going to do
just-
anything.
you better
But
not.
it's just now you know I know.
Yeah, okay,
You're
brilliant.
just a horrible person. So.
Well, let's move on.
Yeah, let's move on,
So,
let's move on.
apart from Death Note, anything else you guys been watching and or playing, reading, enjoying this week?
Ace Ventura: Pet Detective.
Ace Ventura:
Yeah.
Pet Detective.
That's just every day for you, though, isn't it?
Yeah, every day I watch that.
Apart from the incredible homophobia, does the film stand up? Is it still funny? Is it?
Yeah,
is
it's
it?
still amusing.
Is it?
But
The
it's-
slapstick's good still. Is it?
Well, I've never been a massive fan of slapstick anyway because I think
Okay.
it's cheap humor.
But Jim Carrey does it very well.
But yeah, but
Yeah,
if it
it's
wasn't
physical
Jim Carrey,
comedy.
I don't think it would
No,
work.
sure.
Like,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's really good. You know, everyone's seen it.
Imagine if
Everyone's like,
Kevin James was in that role. How
Kevin
terrible would
James.
that film be?
Oh my god!
No, I was like on Comedy Central yesterday, like watching some Friends, and it was just in the background.
King of Queens.
And no, the film of his that came on is called like Zookeeper. I've never seen that film before, and I just saw bits of it, and I was like, this guy is
like,
literally the worst
Mall
human ever.
Cops. I haven't
yeah,
seen
Paul
that.
Blart,
Mall Cop.
yeah. And Paul Blart, Mall Cop too.
I haven't. Yeah,
It's
I
happening.
would. I'm never going to watch those films
No.
ever.
I
Although he
watched-
is quite good in King of Queens. That is actually
Is he?
quite
Yeah,
funny.
King of Queens is good. It's more intelligent.
I
than
really like the
slapstick
theme tune to that as well. The
Yeah.
opening. I just,
Is that the one where he's like the delivery driver?
delivery driver?
Yeah.
With the wife that.
Leah
Let's be
Remini,
honest,
who's
he's
a
never ever going to get in
Scientologist,
his
yeah.
life. Oh, she's a Scientologist.
Well, she's an ex-Scientologist. She's
They're
one
all
of the people
ex-Scientologists,
that
aren't they? Blew the.
is really trying to like make people see what's going on.
I think they have. I don't think Scientology is nearly as big as it was 10 years ago.
No,
I
yeah.
watched, there was this, I watched this
Probably
really
more so.
interesting, the definitive documentary on Scientology that came out a couple of years ago. It's like 2.5 hours long, and it's pretty much concludes that it's not like all the main, like the 7 like leaders of it, like they all quit. Now it's just pretty much one guy and Tom Cruise and
Yeah.
people that
Have
just
you,
keep handing
Louis
over money.
Theroux did a film on it recently.
Yeah, I haven't
My
seen that yet.
Scientology.
Really-
It's a good movie.
Is
It's
it?
on
Yeah.
Amazon.
Because he
Yeah,
dramatizes parts of the history of Scientology or something, doesn't he?
Yeah,
That's-
he's got someone that used to be a Scientologist and part of like the
The inner circle.
well the inner circle, but also the recruitment as well.
Hmm.
So he explains what you used to do during to be part of Scientology and like how much they like not physically, but they do physically and emotionally beat you down into submission. So
Yes,
you just
yeah.
accept it and you're like, yeah, that's fine,
That's
whatever.
terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I mean, it's almost a definition of a
That's-
cult, really.
Yeah.
well, I mean, yes, it is. So I watched the other Netflix film that came out this week, which is What Happened to Monday. Have you guys?
Yeah, I saw
What
you
is
write
that?
that down. I have no idea what that is.
So it's a science fiction film that's set in 2077 or something like this, and basically in 2044 they introduced the One Child Act, where if you have a sibling, the younger sibling goes into cryogenic status for forever, maybe, who knows, because like the world is overpopulated, and there are these 7 children. William Dafoe is their grandfather. I think William Dafoe must have signed a deal with
Signed a
Netflix.
deal with Netflix by
I
the
think he
sound of
has.
things, yeah.
And they're all identical quintuplets. Is that 7?
4.
Septuplets. Thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah. And I can't remember the actress that plays them, but they've all got their own like unique styles, and and it's really cool. And then it's set 30 years in the future, and they're all called days of the week, and they all have to have the same identity, and they can only go out of the house on their day of the week. So Monday goes out, and Tuesday goes out, and then the film What Happened to Monday, because
Does
Monday,
Tuesday go missing?
no, Monday.
That's a good guess,
That's right.
David.
Yeah, good guess, but no. And
Is it like
it's really
a
good.
drama?
Yeah, no, it's
It sounds really interesting.
it's a really good sci-fi, and it's got some really nice twist, really big twist at the end, which is really good. But it's brutal, And I tell you what, do not watch it if you're feeling a bit fragile, because it's.
So Martin can never watch it.
No,
I'm
bless
constantly
him.
fragile.
Yeah.
But no, it was really good. And I would definitely. Sometimes Netflix just brings something out, and it's just sometimes you could just miss it. But
Yeah, I've never heard of that movie. I had no idea what it meant when you wrote down what happened to Monday.
Yeah,
I honestly
sure.
thought that you probably got drunk on Sunday.
what
or
happened
something.
to
As a
what happened to
sentence,
Monday?
that just doesn't
Brackets
work.
Physically
Netflix,
had
did
no.
you not
No,
know?
you didn't put Netflix at the beginning though. You only put that recently.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay.
All it said was what happened to Monday. I was like,
Oh, right. Okay.
I don't
You
know,
tell me.
what- yeah, what did happen?
Okay, but yeah, no. So I would definitely recommend that. I mean, I won't go into spoilers now, but maybe if you guys see it or watch it at some
Yeah.
point, we'll talk about it. But
I'll
yeah,
check that
no, I don't want to ruin it for you. So
Yeah.
you know,
Oh, okay.
I've also been playing. I've been playing Player Unknown Battlegrounds. You guys must have heard of this if you
Yeah.
watch
Yeah.
any YouTube.
Yeah.
PUBG or
Yeah.
PUGB or
PUBG or something like that. Yeah, no, PUBG. Yeah, Player Unknown Battleground.
yeah,
PUBG.
Yeah.
My computer can barely run it because it's severely unoptimized, but it's really fun. It's like 100 people get dropped on an island with nothing, and you have to scavenge for your guns and your ammo and your health packs and
I
stuff.
really
and
want to play it
I do
It's
too.
really, really good.
because I've seen so many Let's Plays of it.
Yeah.
and it looks like
I-
such a fun game.
I am in desperate need of getting a new graphics card just so I can play it with a higher frame rate because I really want to. But it's really good. And this thing, I never thought I saw it and I was like, it's not really my type of game. Like I don't really like. I like multiplayer games, but not when it's like everybody against everybody because I'm just going to lose every time. But I've been playing it with a couple of people from work and stuff, and some other randomers that we found. Some Swedish guy.
Nice.
And
Shout out.
yeah, shout out to Mike, the Swedish guy that I play
Nice.
Player Unknown Battlegrounds with. But he, and it's just really fun and playing with a team, and it's just
Yeah.
it gets really tense.
yeah,
like,
apparently it's like 10-15 minutes of build up for like 10 seconds of
seconds
action,
of
and
action.
you die and then you start
but,
again.
but then you can just start again. It's
Yeah.
30 seconds later. It's like quit out, play again, queue. You're in a game like within a minute.
That's
but it's
They've got a new
proper-
map coming out soon
they-
as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at some point, hopefully soon.
They've released images of it online.
Yeah. And
And it's like in
a big city, basically. Yeah, it's going to be carnage.
Yeah.
But it's proper sweaty, palm-inducing. Like you're crouching around, you know that there's someone there, and you're like, "Oh, where are they?
Yeah,
where are
'cause
they?"
you
And
can
then
hear footsteps and
yeah,
things like that as
yeah,
well.
and you hear gunfire, and it's like, "We're not going down there. Let's go down this way."
You
And
just hear like
Yeah.
bullets pinging over your
yeah,
head. And
you're like,
stuff,
"Oh
yeah.
shit, someone can see us."
It looks like you get into like proper firefights as well, where you're there like for 5 minutes, just like firing back and forth.
Yeah, it's got a
Someone-
really good mechanic, shooting mechanic. So no, it's good. It's good.
Yeah, I want to play it with friends, and I want it to come to console, please.
It's coming
supposed to be,
to
isn't it?
Xbox. Is it Xbox first? I think
It's definitely
October.
Xbox. Yeah, they announced
And
that.
then-
Well,
in
it's
E3.
easier for them to go from
Yeah,
Yeah,
PS4
and
yeah,
then
true.
possibly PlayStation.
Please bring it to PlayStation.
I've been playing Gears of War 4 actually.
Nice.
Yeah,
Which one's that then? The
The fourth one.
Most recent one.
Yeah,
Well-
yeah, the most recent one.
This year was it or last year?
Yeah, like some point last year. Yeah, I've never played
That's
the Gears
the
before,
open world one.
No. It's not a very like linear story.
No, it's
Third person
the,
shooter.
it's the open world one where you can just go anywhere in the desert and
No.
go to.
Nope. I
No,
don't
that's
know.
Metal Gear 5. So that's
Yeah.
the one that came out recently. Yeah. So which one's Metal Gear 4?
Gears of War 4.
Oh, Gears of War. Sorry,
Yeah.
I thought you said Metal Gear. Ah, okay.
Metal
Completely
Gear.
That's
misheard
why
you.
you were so confused.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Of course.
Metal Gear 5 is the one where you can like fire off like a rocket propelled fist or something,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah. you do all sorts of crazy stuff in
Yeah,
that. Oh,
it
so-
is the open world one though. It's
Gears of
very
War
good.
4. I remember playing Gears of War 3
Not that
years
great.
ago. No, I just like that. I was always let down by the story of Gears of War. It was all about the action and not about the story. And I haven't played
Gears of War 1 was
4 at
probably
all.
the best in terms of overall being a good Gears of War game, I think, though, because
But
the
I think-
story was like, it was kind of like action summer blockbuster, but it was like,
Yeah.
it held up, and the shooting was probably the
So
best it
long
was.
ago. That was like, God, 10 years ago?
Yeah, I'd say maybe like 2006.
Yeah, it was probably a good 10 years ago, 11 years ago. Wow,
Mm.
yeah, because I'm just trying to remember where I was when I was playing it. But is Gears of War 4 good?
Yeah, it's good fun.
Playing
I've
on
never
Xbox
played
One, I'm
any of them
guessing,
before.
so-
Yeah, on the one, yeah.
Yeah, on the one.
Well, yeah, you already said
Jet Li
Xbox
the one? Or
Sorry? Yeah, Jet Li the one. I've been
Yeah, you're
playing,
playing
on
it on
the back
him.
of the Black
Yeah.
case. Yeah.
But and you're enjoying it? It's good?
Yeah, it's good fun.
Good,
Yeah.
good cover action,
Yeah, but it's really difficult.
chainsawing
Yeah,
people.
yeah, definitely
Chainsaw
chainsawing
duels.
Yeah.
people. Well, I mean, nowadays it's really difficult to find a decent like couch co-op game you can play,
Oh, yeah, no.
especially console.
yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
shout.
Yeah, so Gears of War 4 worked really well. 'cause
You've been
obviously-
playing it with the wife?
Yeah, so Jess and I,
Okay.
we always like to try and play some games. Like we play 7 Days a Die on on the PlayStation.
How can you do that split screen?
Yeah, you can do that split screen.
Interesting.
That's what I mean. It's really difficult to find games nowadays that
split screen co-op.
That's
Yeah.
true.
What's that one? There's a studio that's bringing out a pretty like story-driven like Prison Break co-op game.
Oh,
was it called Way Out or a Way Out or something like that?
something like that. Yeah, we're actually going to be playing that.
Are we?
Yeah, we're going to.
Yes.
We've already. So two of us will play it, and one of us will give running commentary on what's going
Good
on.
idea.
Yeah, I think I'm quite.
I'm really
looking forward
excited
to
for that. Yeah,
because that's by the same guys that did Two Brothers.
Yeah, like
Yes,
A Tale of Two
that's what it
Sons.
is.
Tale of Two Sons. That's it. Yeah. And that's a good game. That's really cool. But this one looks even more detailed, and so. Yeah,
There's always split screen, isn't it?
that's right. Yeah, always split screen, even if you play it over the internet or whatever. Yeah, it's quite an interesting concept. Cool. And obviously, I mean, I've also been playing Stonehearth, which episodes are up on the Geekstation now. And I've started playing some Planet Coaster as well. So we'll start. That'll come up next week as well.
What else have we got coming out this week then?
So this week, what have we got? So some more Overcooked, some more Keep Talking. Now. Let's talk about Keep Talking.
Let's talk about this, Martin.
Nobody explains. Now,
We're going to hold out some...
What colour is my drink, Martin?
It's clear.
No, that's the glass.
What colour's the
inside the
liquid
glass?
inside the glass?
That's
Is it white or is it yellow?
I'd say that's more
For the listeners,
yellow.
it's yellow.
It's definitely yellow.
Did you just give it away?
Well, I just want you to tell me what
enjoying
colour you
this
think that
mental
is. I'm
exercise.
trying to identify if you are
It's-
colourblind or
it's
not.
yellow.
How many fingers?
yellow.
How many fingers am I holding up?
It's
Is that 4 or is it 1?
It's 4, David.
All right.
Fuck.
So if you haven't already watched it, you should definitely watch the Keep Talking Nobody Explains, the bomb defusal game, where we go through Martin's like at a rate of knots. But as I've realised by watching them, it's
not
not
our
down
fault.
to mine and Martin's
David.
It's not, is it?
You managed to go an entire episode without getting our name
every
confused.
single week.
Even
Yep.
on the Stonehearth game.
I'm
you get
still
us
getting the
confused.
characters mixed up. Yeah. Anyway, moving on. If you haven't watched it, definitely watch them. What else have we got going up? There's we'll have another episode of Orwell coming up, which we might be maybe playing some more later on. We'll see what's going on. But that's going up tonight, with tonight being yesterday,
So,
if you're listening to
Sunday.
it. So Sunday evening. And some more Overcooked as well. Loads more Overcooked going. I think that's it for the time being at the moment, actually. And then maybe some stuff from David. David wants to start recording and stuff. So
Yeah.
I want to
give
start
that a go?
recording.
You want to start what? You
Yeah.
can start recording, yeah.
Come on, let's go.
Let's go. Well, you do it, and it will be uploaded.
Yeah.
So if you just go on to YouTube, do a search for the Geekstation. We are not the Spanish Geekstation. Which
I
is
found
also
that out
there.
actually because
Yeah.
I have Twitter now, a Geekstation Twitter.
Ooh.
I just put the Geekstation and then I followed the link and Minon not Martin.
No, that's it. So
The
with
Geekstation UK.
yeah, that's right, Geekstation. But just do a search for the Geekstation on YouTube, and you'll find it. You'll recognise the if you're listening to podcasts, you'll recognise the logo. It's the same one. So check that out as well. You can follow me on Twitter at Mr. Sin Cinny. David, you're on
Yeah, I'm on Twitter. I am David TGS.
David TGS and
And Martin, I am Marto TGS.
Marto.
Because someone else has taken Martin TGS.
TGS. Really?
Martin TGS, if you're listening, please reach out. We can work something out.
Is it an active Twitter handle?
I didn't actually look. It's just when I tried to set it up, it said you can't do that.
Someone else has got it. Oh,
I've
well.
done like Martin _TGS.
No, I'm
So
Marto.
you can find us at Twitter. You can also, we're on Facebook as well, facebook.com/The Geekstation and youtube.com/Geekstation, although I don't think that link actually works, but you can just do a search for The Geekstation. You'll find us. Obviously, if you're listening to this on iTunes, it would be fantastic if you could give us a rate and a review. If you do, I promise you I will read it out, so you will be forever immortalised in the Geekstation podcast. Is there anything else to say, really?
Well,
No, I mean, if there's anything you want us to talk about, anything like that at all, any games you want to watch us play, or Martin struggle to play.
Yes. Yeah.
let us know.
Any
And if
questions?
you have anything you want us to watch or review or anything
Yeah.
like that. And if you're listening to this podcast on YouTube, please don't forget to give us a like and tell us how well we're doing, or alternatively how badly we're doing, because all criticism is good criticism.
Feedback is welcome.
That's right. So I suppose the only thing to say is that it's goodbye from me.
It's goodbye from Sin.
It's goodbye from Sin.
Excellent. Thank you very much, guys, for tuning in, and we'll catch you next week. Toodle bit.
Toodle.